This week on Fly Rod Chronicles, we are in the mountains of West Virginia to do some winter fly fishing. This show is going to be a little different as I called in some professionals. Mark Haynes and Dejan Heyman are the best in the business and made the trek down from Buffalo, New York and PA to fish our West Virginia streams. These guys are some of the top anglers in the country, and they're going to give you all some in-depth tips and tricks on how to fish our winter waters in West Virginia. In between all the fishing, we take in the valley at Davis and Thomas area to grab some good food and a few beverages. Also in this show, you will learn a few fly fishing tips, have a little fun, and we catch some fish along the way. So stick around. Traveling the world, fishing, enjoying the great outdoors. Those are things that would have seemed impossible to me when I was a kid growing up in the mountains of West Virginia. I'm a lucky man, and I never want to forget it, and I'm hoping that sharing my experiences with folks will inspire them to do the same. I'm Curtis Fleming, and these are my Fly Rod Chronicles. This week on Fly Rod Chronicles, I'm excited. Hey, I had shoulder surgery, so it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be fishing. I got two good buddies coming down, and they're going to take over. And you know what? They're coming to my home state, wild and wonderful, almost heaven, West Virginia. So I'm just going to be a tour guide. And these are two really good friends and two of the top fishermen in the country. Hey, these guys, they've traveled the world. They've got to teach the U.S. fly fishing team. And what we're showing off not only is the state of West Virginia, but we're showing off the techniques that these guys use. So we're going to go over to meet up with my buddy Brian over in Thomas, West Virginia at Mountain State Brewery. And then Mark and Dejan's going to come over and we're going to hook up, and then we're going to get a plan together. All right, we're in the big town of Thomas.
Nice, isn't it?
It is. Hey, you know, we come up here a couple of years ago and we stopped to see our buddy Brian, and we always stop at Mountain State Brewery. Got to support the local brewery, and this is where it all started. So we're gonna go in here and say hi to Brian.
Good deal.
And give him a hat and a couple stickers. All right? Let's go before the wind blows us down. I might even buy you. I might buy you something to drink. Come on in.
I had a beer once and I liked it.
Come on in. Hey.
Hey!
How you doing, Mark?
Cat drug in.
Hey, look.
Is this
John.
the drinking show?
Hey, this is it.
I'm here for the drinking show.
Hey, there you are. How you doing?
man?
Good to see you. Come on in. Hey,
Let's go, guys.
Hey,
this is Brian. Brian owns Mountain State.
Mark, good to meet you.
how's it going?
Dejan. What's up?
Dejan.
Dejan, Brian, good to meet you.
Yeah.
The one thing, they make you sample what they got here, though. That's not a problem? I am wounded, so I got on the phone and I'm like, so I had shoulder surgery a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, who's a couple of the best fishermen I know? I couldn't get a hold of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
How long down the list were we?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good comedy, wasn't it?
There we go. Nice rainbow. Yep.
Attaboy, Dejan. Nice. Oh, jumper.
All right. He likes to get some air.
Oh, that's a good fish.
Didn't like you. All right.
Nice job.
Good fish.
Good job, guys. Woo.
So, I've been fishing for about 30 years. You've probably been doing about the same. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
40. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You got me by a few. So, do you remember how we ended up kind of hooking up back in the day?
I mean, when did we first meet? I think I was starting the Trout Legend Forum,
Yeah,
which was
maybe
just,
some other forums, and then you started that, and I kind of followed over.
yeah, you were one of the first people there, and we got some of the Southern boys came in and started trading competitive techniques.
Yeah.
And that was really the beginning of it, you know?
Yeah, started doing that. I think we did some
It's like
steelhead and
13,
stuff
14
back then.
years
Probably
ago,
the first
right?
time we fished for steelhead up in New York. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
Yeah, it's been a great time. And then that forum it led into the league, and I mean, we had one of the biggest leagues in the world for a while.
Largest league in North America by far.
Yeah.
Kind of ruled the East Coast, parts of British Columbia and
It was
Canada.
fun. Learned a lot, traveled a lot.
Yeah. But like, what did you think of some of these fisheries? I fished some of these things before. And
Well, the scenery is gorgeous, and a lot of the fish are really high quality. Man.
Yeah,
They're doing a good
high-quality
job.
fish.
The rainbows,
man,
especially.
they fight hard. I know our way we got some good fighting fish, but these fish just fight hard.
That one rainbow I caught yesterday was amazing.
Like they're sitting in the tail out. A little bit better than last one. Not as big as the first one.
Good job, buddy. Same place?
Yep, right in the tail out there.
So I got to play spectator. I had the best view right up here.
Yeah.
And so I got to see an angler come through here, and you got to tell me what you did, because what I saw you do, and you tell me if I'm wrong here. You changed your rig up here.
Yeah.
And it looks like you put some shot at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And somebody already fished through here, right? And you fished through here.
Yep.
And then tell me what you did.
So I mean, we were Euro nymphing, you know, which is fancy for just direct contact nymphing. You know,
Right.
it's nothing too complicated.
Yeah.
But the wind is kicking up, so it's hard to keep contact with the sighter because the wind has been so heavy. So I went back to the truck. I got my 11-foot rod, and this has got a long digressive leader. They say it's just like level mono basically. And I got a big indie up there, one of those big foam indies, to a tippet ring. And then I do fluorocarbon to 2 flies, and then I do drop shot. I call this long line drop shot method. And you got your shot on the bottom. So basically, you're casting out there, the shot is anchoring on the bottom and bouncing along, and these 2 flies are down in the strike zone, right where the trout are, especially on a cold winter day like this where they're not moving around.
Right.
And it gets real slow, because I can just get that indicator and get the right length, and that split shot just bounces, and you see that indicator bouncing, and it gives them all the time in the world to look at it. And like on a day like this, it kind of made the difference.
So in West Virginia, Seneca Rocks, that's about as iconic as it gets right there. FYI, we're not going to climb Seneca Rocks today.
Horatio?
Race But so catch and release section right here behind us. This is the North Fork and South Branch of the Potomac, and some fish. So we'll go down here and play, see if we can get them to cooperate.
Or not. I mean, this will work. We'll take that. You want to net this one? Because he's going to head down towards you. Not real big, but I got
All kind of fit together.
it. Yeah, they're good looking fish. Good looking fish. Woo. Woo. Coming to you. I threw on an egg, but they didn't touch. Still hit the mop. But over there, they're actually facing downstream, which a lot of people will kind of forget that on these fish. If they're going to face into the current, and that current's circulating back upstream.
Right.
So what we're finding is we're casting up in there, letting it go, and almost doing a slight little lift or jig with it, and they're coming up and striking at it.
So this is your favorite spot, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Last time I was here, my wife and I loved the pizza.
Okay, so Sirianis, we're going to go in here and see our buddy Michael. He's waiting on us. He's got some old, like home recipes. We always stop in here when we get a chance. So he's waiting on us. He might even take us in the back and show us some.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah. So we'll duck out of the wind and go in here and check it out.
So yesterday we were out, did pretty well, caught some fish. We noticed there was a lot of stoneflies around and some blue wing olives. So this is a nymph that I started using yesterday, and I've used it for years. It kind of imitates both of them this time of the year. What I call my black diamond nymph. Flashy little fly, black, multicolor, kind of an attractor, but I found it really seems to work well when those bugs are moving through the calm.
Good winter pattern.
Yeah, real good winter, early spring pattern. It's done real well for me. So we're gonna start here. We're gonna use a size 12 Trout Legend J300 hook. Trout Legend silver bead. I think I actually got a 3.5 here. I'm making this a little heavier since we've got some heavier flows. So, and this fly is tied on the style they call in the round. So from no matter how you look at it, it looks the same. Clean little fly, works well. Looks like a lot of things, and that's a lot of my nymphs that I tie. Don't need to be real crazy with it.
I like they didn't go overboard on the tail too. I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think that too allows. It's not necessarily about all the look per se, but it's sink rates, getting that fly in the zone where those fish are at quick.
Hold on. I call this I call this a double. I
Do a double release.
and probably a double photo.
So Curtis, why do you call up Mark and Deshawn to come fish?
Yeah. So fish feed maybe 5% on top. Having a technique of nymph fishing. Mark and Deshawn is probably two of the best people that I know that can teach this technique, that are really good at this technique. And honestly, back then, they were keeping these techniques as secrets because they were competing. And now they're in the business of sharing them. And I just thought it would be good to share with the viewers on Fly Rod Chronicles.
We got the flies. How did we go about presenting them? You did some unique stuff when we got this dialed in yesterday, Dejan. You want to talk about your rig a little bit?
Yeah, so we're using what's called a long line drop shot technique. And basically we're gonna have split shot all the way down at the bottom. We're gonna have a big indicator up on our main line. And we're gonna have a series of flies tied with double surgeon knots. So you'll basically, whatever leader you're running, you run that off of your fly line, and then you're gonna have your indicator. I'm gonna use 2 weighted flies and split shot at the bottom. When you get it dialed in and you get the right length of your leader, you get the right amount of split shot, this indicator is just gonna go doop, doop, doop. It's gonna be bouncing along, and you know those flies are down on the bottom in the strike zone now, bouncing along so slowly, and the fish just can't stand it.
Good job, Dejan.
It's a sucker. Still a good fight.
And seeing Dejan hook up into this big fish, and honestly, it looked like a scene from a river runs through it. Rod's bent down the stream. He's rolling down the stream, you know, looking like he's ready to bust himself at any time. And I'm like, he's got a huge brown trout. And I can see my camera guys excited, and he's excited. And then all at once, Jimmy's just like, I'm like, how can you be like, when you got a fish that big? And they're like holding it up. And then I'm like, Dejan's kissing the fish. So afterwards, I find out that it's a sucker, which is our fall fish. So, you know, hey, I'd have been proud of the fish. I mean, to me, fish is a fish, but you know, I think Dejan slipped our producer like $25 or $50 to keep the fish out of the show. He didn't slip me any money, so that's why the fish is in the show.
A few weeks ago, I seen Curtis had some surgery, can't be doing much fishing, really can't do any. And he gave me a call, he's like, hey, what are you up to? You wanna do some fishing? I'm like, well, I'm always wanting to do some fishing. So he called us down. Basically, we're getting fill in for him. Really, to me, it kind of a dream come true. We've always wanted to do this kind of stuff, and I've been on the show before. I don't think you've actually. Well, you may.
We've been in competition before. Yep.
Yeah. So it gives you a chance to kind of shine a little bit with it.
Yeah. You know.
Perfect guy to spend a week with and get off.
I can see why he's been running the show for 19 years too. He's a people person. Wherever he goes, he just like people open up to him. You know. So.
You know, what an awesome time in my home state here in almost heaven. You know, Blackwater Falls, they had an incredible moment in history where the governor came up. They had a blue ribbon cutting ceremony and had 2 great friends come in and hang out. We got to go over to Mountain State Brewery and go get some good food over at Siriana's. And then, hey, we got to go fishing. When I say we, Mark and Dejan got to fill in for me. You know, we wanted to show you guys that you can fish all 12 months here in West Virginia. You know, this is our last show for our 19th season, and how fitting to bring people from out of state to come to West Virginia to help me and to help you all. Thanks for tuning in to Fly Rod Chronicles. Come back next season.